That's just a terrible take, personally.
We got shellacked.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're doing well. I'm Jacob Aries, and I'm your host tonight for the starting lineup. Now, we have some new faces on the show tonight, and we got Gabby Alvarado and we got Alex Kastner. So guys, before we kick off the show, I gotta ask, what would be your favorite sports moments to cover from the past or present?
I would want to see any Muhammad Ali fight.
I think that's a great answer, Mr. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Now, Alex, what about you? What event would you like to cover?
I'd have to do Super Bowl 42 when David Tyree cut the football on the side of his helmet.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. Love to watch that in person. Me, I would have to pick the 97-98 shot where Michael Jordan sealed Game 6 victory over the Utah Jazz. Now, those were great moments that you guys picked. Now, I want to jump into Arizona Roundtable right now, where we'll be going over past events in Arizona from the past week. Arizona women's tennis made some serious noise at the national stage as 4 Wildcats represented the program at the 2025 ITA All-American Championships, which began Saturday, September 20th, at Cary Tennis Park in Cary, North Carolina. Leading the group was number 51, Josie Yuzuru, who became the first Arizona women's player ever to qualify for the main draw in both singles and doubles. Yuzuru competed in the singles main draw and teamed up with number 12, Martina O in the doubles main draw. In singles competition, Martina transfer Maria Garcia and Tanvi Nanurdran opened in play on pre-qualifying draw, each looking to fight their way to the main bracket for this year's 4-player lineup, which marked one of Arizona's largest groups at the ITA All-Americans in recent memory. The last time the Wildcats competed was back in 2024 when only 2 players reached the qualifying draw, but this time the Cats came in strong, left their mark on the national stage. All that success at the ITA All-Americans really set the tone for what could be a promising season. Gabby, what about this team stacks up going into this season?
Thanks, Jacob. As you can expect, there's a lot of anticipation for this women's team to do well this year after their 19-11 record last season and first-round loss in the NCAA tournament. Surprisingly, there's no freshman on the team this year, but there's one newcomer to keep an eye on, which is Auburn transfer Maria Garcia. At Auburn, Garcia played between number 5 and 6 singles positions and played exclusively at the number 3 doubles position. So hopefully she can bring her experience in more high-stakes matches to help this team. On the other hand, returners like senior Tanvi Narendran and junior Josie Yusuro, who were both leaders of the team last year, can continue to inspire and push this team to possibly go back to the NCAA tournament. Last year, the team struggled with losing on doubles points, not converting their singles opportunities, and simply struggling against tough opponents. So I think this team has the skills and leaders it needs to fix this and do well this season. It's just up to them to execute it.
With no freshmen on this team, there's a lot of upperclassmen where they can clean up and kind of address those problems that they had last season and hopefully improve from their record and make it further in those post-regular season matchups. Now, Alex, what can you tell us about this tennis team?
The women's tennis team just came back from San Diego, where they competed in the ITA Southwest Regional Championships. The girls would find trouble finding their footing in this tournament, as the 5 players they sent would finish 4 and 5, with only 3 advancing from the round of 64. Arizona's best performer would be Martina O, who advanced to the round of 16, going 2-1, winning her matches 24-6, but would eventually fall short to Savannah Broadus from Pepperdine University 6-1 and 6-0. Arizona will next send Midori Castillo to go to compete in the Quartero Open from October 20th to October 26th.
You know, the Wildcats, they seem to struggle in that last competition, but there's nothing like taking a loss and trying to transfer it and learn from it and to use it and grow from it from the regular season moving forward. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to wrap up Arizona Roundtable by discussing Arizona Swim and Dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to continue with Arizona Roundtable, and that is with Arizona men's swimming and dive made waves this past weekend, kicking off their World Cup run in Westmont, Illinois, with some seriously strong performances. From start to finish, the Wildcats proved that they were ready to compete with the best, and let's just say they didn't disappoint. This team came to make a splash, and they definitely left their mark. Day one of the World Cup weekend was strong from the start for Arizona men's swimming and dive. The Wildcats made immediate impact on Friday, led by freshman Alexander DeShangles, who set the tone early in the men's 200-meter backstroke. DeShangles clocked in at a 1:52.07 in the prelims, finishing fifth in his heat to earn a spot in the finals. But he didn't stop there. The first-year Wildcat came back even stronger, under the lights, shaving nearly a full second off his time to finish 1:51.17. Good enough to finish third overall. It was a breakout performance, and he didn't only showcase his individual talent, but he also set the tone for what looked like to be a promising weekend for the Arizona. Wow. And that was only day one. Alex, what can you tell us about day two?
On day two, the Cats had another strong showing in the prelims, with Alexander DeSangles and Patricia Kay came in 15th place and 16th place in their respective races for the 50-meter backstroke. When it came to the 100-meter freestyle, Thomas L. earned an impressive second place in the prelims and third place finish in the finals. Finishing off the day, Hankin Naughton would finish 7th in the men's 200-meter butterfly prelims and would improve one spot, coming in 6th in the event finals.
Wow, a third place finish in a finals at this world stage, that's very impressive. Good job, Wildcats. And they are making splashes at this point of the competition, and it looks like that they had another strong day because it was a 3-day competition. Gabby, what can you tell us about the last day?
By the final day of this World Cup competition, it was clear that the Wildcats were tough. Once again, freshman Alexander DeSangles was able to finish off his event strong by winning 14th place in the men's 100-meter backstroke with a time of 52.13 seconds. Freshman Julia Smersinska also finished 14th in her 200-meter backstroke with a time of 2 minutes and 8.89 seconds. Considering that this is the first time Arizona has had an appearance in the World Cup, the swim and dive teams were quite impressive, having multiple Wildcats advance to the finals. The next competitions for both women's and men's swim and dive will be away, but their work done in the World Cup set the standard for how the season should go.
Wow. Only they can take all this success that they had and they're going to learn from it, and hopefully as the season goes on, both this men's and women's team are going to improve and make it further in the season in the standings. Now, Arizona's next test comes in a double meet duel against SMU and TCU, a perfect chance for the Wildcats to build on their World Cup momentum and keep making waves early in the season. The Wildcats will compete on October 30th and 31st at the Robson Lindley Aquatic Center in Dallas, Texas. SMU enters the meet with several standout swimmers, including Charlie Kay, who holds the school records and top times in freestyle and backstroke, and Colin F., the 2023 American Athletic Conference Swimmer of the Year. Jack B. and Junior Cottonfield and Cam Katzman add more depth, each boasting national-level achievements and record-breaking performances. When we come back, are your favorite college coaches still employed? We'll have more of a detailed look when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to the starting lineup. In the world of athletics, teams ride or die by their coaches. At the helm, they direct the team's output and try to maximize the team's talents. However, many times that does not go as planned and the team doesn't perform as well. Going into this season, it was a make or break year for Brett Brennan and the Wildcats. He took over in 2024 after Jedd Fisch left for Washington and a bigger salary. Fisch's impressive 11-3 record and bowl win against Oklahoma has been missed by Wildcat fans. However, Brett Brennan has led a new team that has already tied the same amount of wins as last year. Wildcat fans can expect sunnier days in Tucson because this team is in the right direction. If they improve to that illustrious 6-game mark and a per chance at a bowl victory and appearance, he has locked his chances of coaching here, especially in a world where coaches aren't really given much time to tally up the wins in the win column. As a group, we all figured out it would be an appropriate time to address some of the biggest storylines in the world of college football changes that are happening with coaches.
Big things were expected out of the Gators in Florida, with Billy Napier and DJ Lagway looking to bounce back after an injury-riddled season. Even with the #1 ranked schedule in college football this year, they had found themselves ranked 15th in the preseason poll. Unfortunately, this wouldn't last long, as instead of losing to a team such as LSU or Miami, they'd fall to the USF Bowls in just week 2. You'd think a team like Florida would be able to bounce back, but these Gators would stay stuck in the swamps. You guys see what I did there? The Gators would go to a 3-4 record and would only get wins against an unranked Texas and an unranked Mississippi State since their first loss. On October 19th, the day after their third win, Florida would announce the firing of Billy Napier, finishing his Florida tenure 22-23 within 4 seasons. As much as I feel bad for him, I feel this was deserved due to the fact he's the second ever coach to leave the Gators with a losing record. Florida is a historic program, and you need to hold yourself to a higher standard than Napier did to stay at such a high program.
I see what you did there, but yeah, like Florida is such a great team, and I remember watching that. That was a big moment when they let go of their coach Napier. You know, they losing to UCF and not being able to recover from that. What can you do? So, especially with a team that has really high expectations, they made that decision. Gabby, I think you have one to talk about that really shocked all of us and took the college football scene by storm.
I have to say, when you're the head of a ranked Big Ten school, there's a lot of eyes on you, and the spotlight maybe got a little too bright for Penn State coach James Franklin. Penn State has always maintained their spot in the AP Top 25 until this year. The team went into the season ranked #2, sitting only behind Texas, but now isn't even in the rankings at all and has a 3-4 record. Even though Franklin is considered one of the best coaches in Penn State history, this season's losses against the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten, UCLA and Northwestern, really seem to be a tipping point. I have to feel kind of bad since he's led the team to multiple bowl games in search of a national title and consistently plays against other top-ranked teams in their conference like Ohio State, but there's just no coming back from losses to unranked teams like this.
Yeah, he's been there for a long time, since the mid-2010s, and he took them far into the college playoff scene last year, and it really shocked me, you know? Well, don't go anywhere. When we return, we're going to be talking about our expectations for this upcoming NBA season.
I'm Kate Condon, and you're watching UATV3.
This is Madeline Heinrich, and you're watching UATV3.
I'm Jaden Zelm.
I'm Demetra Alarcon.
I'm Carly Siegel.
I'm Delaney Penn.
I'm Gabby Rosenberg.
I'm Rachel.
My name's Simone.
I'm Isabella Will.
I'm Avery Klein. I'm Joey Bernal Alonso.
And I'm Pablo Rojas.
And you're watching
Welcome back, everyone. The NBA season is back, and we're all for it. The players have had the offseason to relocate to their new teams and prep for the 82-game regular season schedule. Yesterday was a doubleheader matchup. The reigning NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, took on the revamped Houston Rockets, who added Kevin Durant and height, followed by Golden State Warriors looking to spoil Luka Doncic and company at home without LeBron due to injury. Gabby, can you walk us through the Houston game last night?
Even before the season opening game last night, I had my eye on the Houston Rockets. Getting Kevin Durant through a trade was easily a major lifesaver for this team, especially since their 2 draft picks almost immediately got traded. Durant is expected to have a huge impact with Houston's veteran point guard Fred VanVleet's absence this season due to an ACL injury, which happened during the offseason. But with the combination of Durant's experience and the young Houston roster, he could totally be a leader that can carry the Rockets to the playoffs and be able to win against talented opponents like Golden State, who they lost to in the first round of the playoffs last year. Now, about last night, I was very impressed on how Houston was able to keep the game so close against Oklahoma City and hold them to double overtime and only lose by 1 point. Durant, as expected, was dependable for this game, punching in 23 points, but the top scorer was Alperen Sengun with 39 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. These two combined might be the power duo that Houston has been waiting for to have a breakout season.
You know, Alperen Sengun, I was surprised that he was the game leading scorer. Like, he's been good, but every year he's been making monumental jumps. And last year he made a huge jump. So to see him make this big of an impact on the first game, I'm really excited to see where this team, the Houston team, can go, because their shortest starting player on that lineup is 6'7". Now, the Lakers were without LeBron last night, but they were there with a revitalized NBA candidate in Luka Doncic, who put on a near triple-double with 43 points and 12 rebounds with 9 assists. Luka was doing everything, but he had some help. Austin Reeves went for 26 points, and U of A alum DeAndre Ayton put up a respectable 10 points and solid defense. However, it wasn't enough for Dub Nation. Jimmy Butler went off for 31 points alongside Chef Curry cooking up for 23 points. The Warriors won 119-109, covering the -2.5 spread. Alex, what team are you looking forward to this season that we should be put on the radar with?
When it comes to basketball, we see a trend in that the youth is the magic to success and winning, and I hope you guys get where I'm going with that. I think the Orlando Magic have the youth that's needed to succeed. With an average age of 24 and a young skillful core consisting of Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Jalen Suggs, who all just keep taking leaps as their careers go on. I feel this team has an exciting future, especially with a weaker Eastern Conference this season. One of their biggest struggles were three-point shooting, and they instantly took care of that, picking up Desmond Bane in a trade who shot 40% on 6 three-point attempts a game last year. The Magic would also pick up Jace Richardson from Michigan State, who earned third-team All-Big Ten honors as a freshman and also shot 40% from three, while being one of the top playmakers in the draft. I see this team finishing top 3 in the East and making it an electric playoff run, making it to the conference finals and maybe even more.
You know, you make a really good argument. We saw it last season with OKC, where they used athleticism and a young average age on their team to win the whole thing. Now, you did talk about that hole in their game with that three-point shooting, but it seems like by picking up Desmond Bane and picking up new draft picks that they have solved that issue. I'll be sure to keep the Orlando Magic on my radar. Now, we're going to go back to our final commercial, but when we come back, we're going to close out the show with some shout-outs.
I'll be right there.
Thanks, cameraman. You're my hero.
And we're back. As we wrap up tonight's show, we're going to shout out some people with our messages for the night. My shout out goes out to Caleb Love and Carter Bryant, who joined the extensive list of former Wildcats who have joined the NBA. Both players are expected, if not tonight, but soon, to make their NBA debuts. Remember always to bear down.
My shout out goes to Jason Tatum. Please get well soon. Even though some people think you're corny, you're still one of the best players in the league, and we miss seeing you on the court. We did it!
I have to agree with that, but I have to pay respect where it's due. He is a great talent. Now, Gabby, who are you shouting out tonight?
My shout out goes out to the Toronto Blue Jays playing in the first game of the World Series on Friday. Personally, I hate the Dodgers, and it would really hurt me to see them win again this year. And even though the odds aren't all in Toronto's favor, they've made it this far, so might as well seal the deal. I'm rooting for the underdogs.
I too love a good underdog story, and I, being from San Diego, could probably care less to see the Dodgers win another one. But thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Be sure to check us out on social media and watch the next Wildcast on Monday. Have a great week and a great night, and until next time everyone, bear down Wildcats.